what, she forgot her dog? How could the man forget?
He came from a pound.
They're great dogs. Now, you know, I've worked with a lot of politicians in my life. One of my clients is Gerald.
I'm not a politician.
Gerald, is that bad word here in Arizona?
I'm a public official.
Gerald,
It's a bad word everywhere.
Geraldine Ferraro was a client of mine. Her dog was a little liberal for me, but it was a nice dog. She had a German Shepherd, and you know what the problem, interestingly enough, when she was on the campaign, so I was working with her when she was running for the vice presidency. Her dog absolutely loved her family. She was gone all the time campaigning, and what she did to relax was needlepoint on the road. And every time she brought the needlepoint home, her dog Max would chew it up. Because he was so angsty, because she was usually with him when she was on the road and she missed him. Do you find that your dog has a little separation anxiety?
I don't believe so, except that you do have one problem you can help us with.
Well, and watch how polite I am.
My husband and our dog Herbie, they have a love-hate relationship. Herbie loves him and he hates Herbie.
Your husband hates Herbie?
Not really. But he doesn't relate to Herbie the way I do, because he never knew dogs growing up and got bitten badly when he was a child. So he's not so close to the dog. But Herbie respects the males, but does not obey and is not as tuned into females as males, and I'm wondering why that is.
Well, it's tone of voice. Even in their relationship with each other, the deeper the tone of a dog's bark, the more dominant that dog is. So that's
okay,
why
he is a low bark.
Yeah, it's very common. Your husband, talk about their husband, not the dog.
It's me that needs to lower my voice.
You need to lower voice, exactly.
Okay.
You have to cry, no, yes,
Okay.
jump,
Right.
don't. Basset hounds are a different breed of dog also. Basset
Tell
hounds
me
are
about
like,
it, because he's...
yeah, four prints and his stomach trail.
That's
Basset hounds are
Herbie.
great dogs. What is
Are Basset hounds very intelligent or very stupid? We're not sure about Herbie, because he's real cute. He seems brilliant one moment, and the next moment he's just...
Would you ask your kids questions? Is my kid really stupid, or is he really smart?
No, my kids are all smart. It's just the Basset hound.
You know what it is about Basset hounds? I honestly believe this, that the more intelligent a dog is, the more difficult they are to train. Just like a bright child. Why do I need to do this? Why do I have to go to sleep? Why do I have to do this? So usually when someone says, is my dog smart, or is my dog not so smart, it usually means that you have like an Einstein for the dog. So the dog, but I'm concerned about your husband. You need to let your husband bond.
I should have brought Larry. You could have talked to him instead of the dog.
I would let him bond a little with the dog. Let him go for a private ride in the car or something.
He does. He takes him to the dog parks here. You want on Chaparral? It's so great. That's where he does best with her. Thank you very much.
And I fell in love with your sister.
I was born in Santa Monica.
Are you really?
I'm from there.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Santa Monica's a tough town to live in.
I can't.
His butt and his face are kind of similar, so you got to be careful kissing him in the dark. All right.
I'm telling Mike.
All right. So now this is a little bit of a cheat because we talked earlier. Obviously, coordination's a problem in this country. Now, you had the dog prior to you.
I mean, really like to know she bought me the dog.
You brought, okay, but you were living together?
No.
So this dog was your dog?
Correct.
I mean, you moved in. You got married and moved in. Well, let me ask you a question. How would you feel? Let me hold this. How would you feel if another woman moved into your house, used your makeup, slept in your bed, and hung out with your husband?
I'd be very upset.
Well, how do you think your dog feels?
She's felt that way since I brought him the dog, and when we were dating and such, and if I came over and sat on the couch next to him, my husband Tony would tell me I had to move because of his
I love you, Tony. I love you.
So I've always understood that they've got a very good relationship, but I would be upset too, and she's very upset.
Well, Tony, let me ask you.
Thank you.
Is she jealous of the dog?
The dog is jealous.
No, I meant the other way around. The other way around.
Possibly so. And for reasons, I think Muggsy has some anxiety problems, but
Well, tell me about Muggsy's problems.
she's jealous of anything that comes around me. And we have a little kid, and
Look at the
he'll
smile.
run
You
around.
love this. You love this. You're eating this right up.
The little kid will come up to me, and she'll kind of whine and like, get away, That's my dad,
And what do you do at that point?
Well, I kind of get to push the dog away, and hey, the kid
But
needs attention.
by taking the dog and pushing her away, you're making it more anxious. I really think that you need to get out of the picture, Tony. Really, take a vacation.
Okay, I like Warren on this. Is good.
It's not uncommon nowadays. It's not uncommon nowadays for a single person to have a dog or a cat prior to meeting someone, and then the relationship is hard because the dog or cat has been bonding with this person through other relationships. Is this another relationship you're going through, Tony? Is this another woman coming? Not that he's had other women in his life, just that he is. What I would do, who walks the dog?
I do.
Who feeds the dog?
We both do.
But most of the time.
Me, myself.
Who plays with, like if you're home watching TV and you're home doing something else, who is the dog with?
Me.
Right.
Because I give it
Hey,
time.
call me stupid, but you. Oh look, I called you. No, this is good. Fight. Come on.
Well, we have two other dogs, one other pug and another kind of a Lhasa Apso Chihuahua mix, which is her dog.
So you had a dog before you moved in with Tony.
Yes.
Tony had a dog before, and who's the third dog?
There's another pug that came 6 months after this one.
So you had two pugs before you, two dogs, and got married and took in a third dog.
No, Rocky came in after.
You guys live together? 3 different things. Here's what I would suggest, and all joking aside, here's what I suggest. I want you to take over all the water. I want you to take over all the food. I'll take my check at the end of this. Just temporarily. Now, at night, if you're sitting around and you're watching TV, Muggsy's going to want to be with you, but that's no good. You take Muggsy in another room with you. Go out in the yard. Go for a walk. You need to be away from Tony with Muggsy. You need to make that bond. My fiancée Denise had a German Shepherd before we got together. And when I came into the situation, I made sure that I walked real, that I fed real.
That's the challenge we have.
But you know what that is?
No, what is that?
No, that's a little neurotic behavior. You wonder why he's neurotic. You heard me talking to these two, right? But when a dog circles like that, what it does is it brings them back to their early puppyhood. By circling like that, when they're a little anxious and nervous, in their mind, they're flattening grass and making a bed. That's why dogs circle before they lie down. It's an instinctive behavior. What I would do is I think I would focus on you. Does he have a lot of toys? How often do you change them?
Once every 2 or 3 months.
Here's what I would do. I would go right after this, right over to Mackies Parlour. Okay? They got some incredible. Tony and Vince got some very strange toys over there. I gotta tell you. But when you go there, buy a dozen brand new toys. Put down 6 on Monday. Pick them up on Tuesday. Put 6 new ones down on Wednesdays. Pick those up on Thursday. Put the old ones back down again. Rotate them every other day. It'll help with the mental stimulation. But all joking aside, Tony, this dog is really bonded to you, which is important. We need to get you out of the picture.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the neurotic behavior is because he's so bonded to you and not to you that he is a little envious of the relationship. And I think that's what has to be worked on. All righty?
Sounds very good.
Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
It's a dog Herschel. That's Herschel. He almost got Laura? I worked with Laura all day today.
About 8 weeks old, and when he was a year, he bit me on the lip. I had 10 stitches,
No, go ahead. Just put the mic up.
and he doesn't seem like.
I hear you. Do you know who I am? Do you have any idea who I am?
So I can never tell when he's going to all of a sudden nip, especially men, and he just all of a sudden he's really high strung and he's nervous.
So he's mostly aggressive towards men.
Mostly towards men.
Now, can you narrow that down? Is it a man with a beard? Is it a man with a mustache? Is it a man that wears a hat? Is it a man that's tall? Is it a man with a deep voice?
I can't narrow it down.
Really? That many men, huh?
Oh, yeah. Right?
You can take me to Santa Monica, you can't take the Bronx out of me. You can't do it.
But other than that, he's really sweet.
And you got him at 10 months old, did you say?
No, 8 weeks.
8 weeks old.
Yes.
And how big was his litter?
I'm sure it was at least 5. He was the last one. I got him from a breeder. And apparently his mother didn't let him feed.
Feet, okay.
Yes.
And nurses, if you will.
Okay.
And when you took him at 8 weeks old, when did you start noticing this aggressive behavior?
I guess he wouldn't let me lay him on his back and rub his stomach. He would always fidget and fight that.
Okay, but you know what that means? When a dog exposes their belly, it means one of two things. Either total submission or total confidence, which he had neither with you. So it says to me that in his litter, he was pushed around by the other dogs.
Probably.
And therefore, when he got into your house, he started becoming a dominant one. Bonded with you and became aggressive towards males based on that fact. So we have to resolve that problem. We have to resolve the aggression problem. Have you done any basic training with it?
Oh, yes.
Did you know how to sit and stay and deal? And
Yes, when I'm really consistent.
well, I would get consistent. Here's what I would recommend doing. Number one is I would make a tape recording of male voices, dropping the dog's name in every 3 or 4 minutes. When you're not home, let him hear men all the time. Any men living in the house?
Yes.
Okay. And how's he with those men?
Great.
So he's fine with men
And we
living
go
in the
with
house?
one.
Oh, just one. I'm in Arizona. They told me a whole bunch of things about Arizona. I would recommend also that if you have male friends that you know, or perhaps better yet, male friends that your husband knows, I would have them come to the house, and I would have a bag of gifts for them at the front to hand to him. Everything's a very positive association. What happens is because dogs are into association, if he consistently has a positive association with men, the aggressive behavior will start to dissipate, and that's real important. In terms of when he's aggressive, what I'd like you to do is don't focus on correcting him. No, 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 because it's like 2 kids fighting, they're going to become more aggressive. That's when the basic training is important. So you can establish some positive authority right then and there. So the next time he shows aggressive behavior, what's his name? Herschel. Hey Herschel, what's going on, Herschel? Herschel, what's happening? Hey Herschel. Herschel.
Shake.
Come on, Herschel. Yeah, that's a sign of nourish. So what we have is not an aggressive dog, but we have a dog that's aggressive out of fear.
He's afraid of everything.
What other things is he afraid of?
Oh, if
He's on a therapist. He can tell me everything.
if I take him for a walk and someone has moved something in the front of their house that he notices, he'll like start walking along and all of a sudden go like this and
He needs more time out of the house. He really does. Even if
he
it's
gets
sitting,
3 walks a
and
day.
even if it just means sitting on a park bench or a stoop and watching the world go by without walking him, I think that's what he needs.
Okay.
Also, the fact that he's not showing me his face, in his mind, he doesn't have to hear anything I say as long as I'm looking at his backside. It's true, that's when dogs turn the other way. Try that, let me know how you make that. Thank you. Great. Bye, Herschel. Bye, Herschel. Thank you. Do we have someone lined up next, or are we just going to pick someone out of the audience?
Mac does not let anyone in the house,
We think it's anyone.
besides my husband and I. He just goes nuts. If you're wearing anything nice, you can just kiss it goodbye. He jumps.
Oh, you mean playfully?
Oh, yes. Well, he's starting to get a little more aggressive towards certain people.
Okay.
It's interesting. No.
Let me tell you something, okay? Sit there, just sit there.
Okay.
Just sit right there for a second. Talk to me.
How are you?
Talk to me. How do you feel? You a little intimidated? I'm way up here, you're way down here, aren't you? So from a dog's point of view,
Right.
when people come into the house, the only way the dog can make any type of contact is by jumping up. So what I do with my own dog, who is a jumper, is when people come, I would invite friends over, and the first thing they do is get down to the dog's level. Once the dog realizes that, notice he's not jumping on me. Once they're down at his level, why is he going to jump? We're making that.
And he's a big licker.
He's so cute. Kiss is pretty good too. What I would do with a dog like this that's a jumper, and you do have people coming over with nice clothes.
I have a couple of people that won't come over.
You ever hear, good, if they don't come over because of my dog, I don't want them there. You ever hear of something called distraction therapy? Ever take Psych 101 in school?
Long time.
A long time, yeah, me too. It's called distraction therapy. Rather than correct the dog and pay a lot of attention to the bad behavior, which just reinforces it, what I would do is find one specific item in the house. One toy that he absolutely adores. Could be a biscuit, not a biscuit, but give me a weird toy. Come on, Vince, where are you when I need you? A pumpkin toy, whatever. A con toy is fine, whatever. What you do with that toy is the only time he gets that toy is when people come over. So his focus is not on the people when they come over, his focus is on the toy. And as soon as those people leave, you put that toy away. So now, someone knocks on the door, he wants to run and jump on them. You're going to make them come in and say hi, get down on their hands and knees, and good friends will do it. Good friends will do it. And then find that one special toy, and that's going to make a big difference. But the reasons dogs jump up, it's like if you lived in a world where everyone around you was legitimately 18 foot tall. It's intimidating from the dog's point of view. Are we boring you? Are we boring you? He's a great looking dog. Is that your big problem, jumping?
Well, and then he gets very depressed when the people leave.
Gets depressed. And tell me about his depression, man.
He loves kids, and I don't have children, and I know he wants one, but he's worse than my mother.
I should have gone into public service.
And I'm serious. He mopes. My godson comes over a lot.
Let me
And
tell
he's
you
so
what
sad when he leaves.
I live in California, right? Disneyland is my favorite place in the world. And my favorite ride in the world is It's a Small World. I have no kids. It's pretty embarrassing for a 6-foot guy to go into. So I borrow kids from other people in the park.
Son comes over because
I was just going to suggest maybe there's some children in the neighborhood that you can bring over and let him really.
but when they come to the door, he's crazy.
But he doesn't have to be crazy. Exercise him before they come over. Also, when he hears children, is he like really get excited?
Yes.
Here's what I would recommend doing. Now, this is going to sound a little eccentric. And heaven forbid I should ever sound eccentric. But what I do with dogs that are either aggressive towards children or over-friendly towards children is I flood them with children. Now, how do I do that? When you leave the house, leave your TV on Nickelodeon or a children's channel. So the dog is constantly hearing the kids' voices, but the kids aren't necessarily there. It really desensitizes them to the sound of children. Then, before you invite kids over, an exercise period, a special toy, let the kids play with them. I think you're going to see a big change. I think perfection, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, we're adults. He needs to play like kids play. He needs to be roughhouse with them, smooth, and that's what you need to do.
I try, but he doesn't want anything to do with me.
I can see. He's a great dog, but really, try that out.
Great dog. Thank you.
Nickelodeon, I'm telling you, it's a great channel for dogs. Yeah. Hi, tell me.
Wait, the first one?
Yeah, put the mic close to you.
When we take her to training, she's a show-off. She does everything perfectly. And then we come home to the other two dogs. One we rescued and the other one was her daughter.
School, she's like Rin Tin Tin.
Oh, yeah.
When you bring her home, she's like Cujo.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really. And so what do you do?
Well, I try and get her to do things like her treats.
Yeah, but then the treats, why would you use treats? How many people use treats to train their dog? You're all lying. You know it. You know sausages. You know it. I don't use treats. I've never seen one dog give another dog a biscuit when they do something right. So food, and then you go to your dog, here, sit, speak, sing 3 choruses of Ave Maria, here's your biscuit, and then people say to me, why is my dog possessive over food? You want to give your dog a biscuit, give it to him. But here's what I would do. When you bring him home from training school, if he's misbehaving at home, then what you need to do is put the leash and collar back on him and give him a session at home. It's really that simple. Every dog is wonderful at 12 o'clock at night. When you're watching TV, they're lying next to you, but during the day they have problems. And the reason for that is because people focus on the negative. What you do is when you bring him home and he's not behaving, what you do is put the leash and collar on and make him respond to some basic things. That's the other problem.
Okay, the other problem is a little strange.
Now, this is the pet psychologist. There's no strange problems to me. It is strange.
When you go to use the restroom.
When you go to use it, talk a little louder. Come on now, I want everyone to hear
When
this.
you go to use the restroom, she opens the door and plants herself between your legs, and like she was like, pet me, pet me. And if you don't pet her, she will lay down on your pants so that you cannot pull them up. And it's like her massage time.
I'm just thinking. I'm not visualizing, I'm just thinking.
I'm put a sign on the door that says, please massage her.
Well, I was just going to wonder, why would the door be open for the dog to come in? Oh, she opens the door by herself. And you're all agreeing to this.
It's not just weird.
So, all right, so this is the problem the dog has. Let me see if I got this right. I'm just looking. Thank God guys pee standing up. We don't have that problem. Boris, where's Boris? Boris. By the way, when we're all done, I'm going to be signing books and I will answer individual questions as I'm signing books. So if I don't get to you, don't. All right, tell me about Boris. So in your backyard, I would do this. You can't stop a dog from digging. It's instinctive behavior. What I tell people to do is to go buy yourself a kiddie pool.
Having a senior moment?
Fill it with sand. Bury his toys and some treats in there. You go sit in there and you dig. No, I mean this seriously. He's going to want to be with you. And what I would do is every few days put new things in there. So rather than teach him not to dig, what we're doing is we're giving him a place to dig. A place where it's okay to go do this. It's okay to dig in here. There's always something new and special. When you're dealing with instinct, you don't want to play with it. You want to direct it. So a kiddie pool in the backyard, like a doggy sandbox, is what I would recommend for the digging.
How about pop-ups for the grass? He just pop-ups for the grass. He just pulling his mouth.
Is he eating the grass?
No.
Pop-ups. What a pop-up?
The sprinkler, the one that pops up and sprinkler in
Okay.
Yesterday I bought 4 new ones. So.
Have you tried a product called Bitter Apple? There's 2 products on the market I'll recommend to you. One is called Bitter Apple, and the other is called Best Behavior. They're chewing deterrents. What I would do is on the days that the sprinkler's not working, or you're not using it, I would saturate those things with the Bitter Apple or the Best Behavior. When he goes to chew it, there'll be a negative taste, and he'll get the idea. If that doesn't work, the other thing I'm going to recommend you to do is the balloons that I talked about earlier. If you tape some balloons to the pop-ups, when he goes to grab them again, the balloons are going to break. He'll get the loud noise. It's like God corrected him, and he'll get the idea.
My other dog likes to play with it.
With the balloons? Yeah. So that one playing, let them pop in him. But let me ask you, when was the last time you crawled around your backyard?
Cold.
Yeah, like this, you know, I'm crawling around your backyard.
When I change the sprinklers.
The reason I brought that up is because what's out in the backyard for the dogs to play with? Be honest with me. How many toys are in the backyard?
It's actually the Congo rubber thing for him.
There's 1, 2, a sport. That's it.
That's it.
Now, if you put a child in the backyard with 1 common toy, what do you think of that? What I recommend doing is most backyards are pretty boring. He looks like a pretty active dog. I would put a tennis ball in the backyard for him to play with. I might even hang a tire from a tree for him to play with. I would put a dozen toys in the backyard. Guys at Mackies love me. A dozen toys in the backyard for the dog to play with. He's bored. He's bored in the backyard. When a dog is bored, they're going to dig, they're going to chew, they're going to find their own food. Do you think those pop-ups taste that good? You got nothing else to do back there. Bitter apple, best behavior, with balloons and more toys. Alright?
Another issue that they also jump people from excitement, of course. But sometimes he's too aggressive. He's big and he's...
Okay, so the question is the dog jumping on people. There's two ways to control that. One of the best ways to control that is by having everyone, including yourself, ignore the dog even when you come home for the first 5 or 10 minutes. So he doesn't associate that major breathing. The other thing is what I said earlier, find that special item that he only gets when people come over to distract him. And that should work. That should work for you as well.
And the question, same thing, like he's a hyper with the new people coming in. Future, with the future kids, how to, the best way to bring them close to the babies.
The first, you know, if you guys go onto my website, there's a whole chapter on there, and in the book as well called What to Expect from Your Pet When You're Expecting. So many young couples now have a dog or a cat before they have their baby, and what I would do is I would go out and get yourself a doll that makes noise and moves. I would make a tape recording of a baby crying and start playing it. Are you planning on kids in the near future? Okay, I would get a tape recorder and make a baby's crying and play it at a soft iron. I would get mobiles, the rattles, all the toys that are going to be there prior to the baby arriving, get them adjusted to the baby before the baby actually comes home. And sharpen the basic obedience, so to say.
Okay, and one more last
Sure, you got it.
The kitchen. My other dog is always in the kitchen. Like, trying to sniff, can grab the chicken from it, you know.
She's grabbing stuff off the counter?
Yeah.
What you do is take an empty soda can or an empty beer can. But you've heard about the can with the pennies? No? You'll get to Arizona sooner or later. Take an empty soda can for 20 pennies. Take a paper towel. Put the paper towel on the edge of the countertop. Okay? Spray the paper towel with that bitter apple I talked about. Balance the cans on the edge of the counter. The dog will jump up to grab whatever's on the counter. The cans will fall down. You're not home, making a loud noise once or twice and your problem's over.
She does this when I'm at home.
It doesn't make any difference. Oh, he's right in front of you?
Yes.
And what do you do?
Bad girl.
Bad girl? Bad girl? Shame on you. That's not going to work. Use the can with the pennies even when you're home. Try that now. I think it'll make a big difference for you. All right, good luck. Thank you. I wish you. Tell me about Tina.
Well, look, working?
Is the mic working okay?
Yeah, okay, sorry. My problem with Tina is that she pees outside, but she will only poop inside. Sorry to be so graphic.
Well, poop is not graphic from my perspective. Poop is like the good word. Does she poop outside as well? Has she ever pooped outside?
Rarely, very rare.
But she will. Is there one spot in the house?
No.
Several spots.
Well, the living room or dining room.
Okay.
So,
Does she spend a lot of time in that area?
no, not. That's kind of the unoccupied
Well,
area.
that's why she's pooping there, okay? Here's what you do. You hold on to that. Okay. The dog poops right here,
Right.
okay? What you do is you take some of the dog's favorite food or a treat,
Okay.
put it in a paper plate.
Alright.
Not her regular food though. You put it where she poops. So she's going to say, okay, I better not poop there because my food's there, so maybe I'll poop here. Well, that plate stays here. But tomorrow, another plate comes out over here. No one eats a bologna sandwich in a john, right? Once the dog sees her food following where the accidents are, I will guarantee you that you'll be walking around your house barefoot in a few days. It's really that easy. All right? Thank you very much. Good luck.